Sly Stallone, Kathy Ireland, I've asked you here today to star in my movie.
Yeah, we're actors meeting a movie producer at a movie studio. What you're saying isn't news.
Well, here's some news. You're a jerk.
Actually, it's not news. But please, just tell us what movie we're going to be in.
It's about a girl and her boyfriend who gets his brain switched with a T-Rex.
So, it's a sci-fi film.
No, there's almost no mention of science at all.
I have to be honest. I think this movie is beneath us.
Well, what if I told you this movie was based on a true story?
Which story is that?
This one. Chainsaw noise. Okay, now that I switched the brains of these famous actors with other less famous actors, they'll be happy to do the movie, and I'll still get the fame and talent I need. So you, Sly Stallone, are now the star of my movie.
I'm Denise Richards.
No, Denise, you're Sly Stallone now.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm Denise Richards.
You know, it's only now I realize I don't know why I thought this would work. Kathy Ireland, how'd it come out? I don't even know what animal this is. Okay, Denise Richards' brain was put into Sylvester Stallone's body, and some crazy animal brain was put into Kathy Ireland's body. Carry the one... I flunked math. Okay, so that means, according to the Futurama theorem, Sly Stallone's brain is in Paul Walker's body, Kathy Ireland's brain is in Denise Richards' body, which means...
Which means we're your stars now.
Are you Paul Walker or Sly Stallone?
It doesn't matter. Either way, I'm going to be in your movie.
Oh, by the way, you're not going to like the title of the film.
What's it called?
It's titled Tammy and the T-Rex.
They irritate the irritated, flex perplexities, poise puzzles, magnify mysteries, impose inquiries, and coagulate quandaries. But more importantly, they ask one question.
Why would you make this?
Hello, everyone. Welcome and thank you for listening. This is Why Would You Make This? The only podcast to play with garbage and then can't understand where that smell is coming from when we ask the question, why would you make this? I am Jimmy Time. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Dr. Moneystein, Danny Money. Yeah,
works.
Money's Dr. Win Benstein's Money, Danny Money.
If only.
Oh, yeah. Think of all the clear eyes you'd have. Never again would you have dry red eyes.
Did anyone ever win his money, actually, now that I think about it?
I'm not actually positive that anyone ever successfully won that game show. I think it further helped launch Jimmy Kimmel's career, right? Wasn't he the host of it?
He was the host of it,
Yeah, I think it helped. Somehow it hurt Ben Stein's career.
I believe that. I definitely believe that.
It's the last thing I remember him doing, yeah. So, Delta Rex. He's not here with us today. He is off convincing someone that a window that cost more than their property tax every year is a sound investment. So, a single window.
That is crazy.
It's like a patio door window, but it's still technically a window.
Right, no, exactly.
It was like a $70,000.
Wow.
It's just like, why?
What is that window made out of that?
Yeah.
It's $70,000. Damn.
Fucking gold and bees. Bees are expensive. So we watched the 1984 comedy sci-fi Tammy and the T-Rex, which was released December 21st, 1994 in the U.S., and sometime in 1995 in Germany. Both straight to video. There was no theatrical release, which kind of explains why it wasn't lost in translation so much. We have Italy as the only place that called it Tammy and the T-Rex. And I think that's because of the working title. And the working title was Teenage T-Rex.
Oh.
Which, wasn't really about the T-Rex so much. So, yeah.
It wasn't really about the teenager that much.
No. It was about a haphazard collection of pseudoscience.
Exactly.
Well, now that we've ruined the movie, good night, everyone. So the Teenage T-Rex was the working title, which is probably why in Germany they called it Tammy and the Teenage T-Rex. But that in no way explains why they had two titles in Singapore. Both were wrong, because they apparently called it Tanny and the Teenage T-Rex, or Tanny of the Teenage T-Rex. Is that my phone going on?
Yeah.
Shut that shit up. I mean, what kind of a man would run a podcast and not be professional? Honestly, grow up, everybody else. Yeah, so again, they called it Tanny of the T-Rex. I don't know if they don't have Tammy, or if that's how you say Tammy in Singapore, or I don't...
Yeah, and I don't get the changing of the and to of, or vice versa.
Yeah, because it was Tammy and the T-Rex, and then they changed it to Tammy of the Teenage T-Rex.
Good.
Is it incest in that movie? Is she like the daughter of the T-Rex?
Yeah, exactly.
Singapore's fucked up. What happened to the good, wholesome Singapore? We could just go there and fuck their kids. And that'd be it.
Isn't that then why we got the title Tanny of the T-Rex?
Oh, yeah. Oh, everything's fine, folks. Never mind. That was my mistake. That's what you get for not researching. Oh, boy. All right, so I'm assuming you have no information on the budget at all.
Exactly. As you mentioned, it was a straight-to-video, so there was no budget, no gross.
They didn't,
Yeah. They didn't provide any of that information, but as you can tell, it seems like they maybe got the T-Rex from a Steven Spielberg garage sale, because this movie was done after Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah, they probably, I would say, took the suits from the other film, what do you call it, Theodore Rex, the one we did beforehand, but they're filming at the same time, because remember, Theodore Rex was filming for 5 years straight.
That's true, yeah.
So there's no way they could have borrowed. There was probably, like somewhere in 1993, a big debate over who got the dinosaur suits from Dinosaur. No, we want them. Oh, no, it's ours. We're going to do it. Yeah, I don't know. Probably I don't think you probably don't remember. What did the last one cost? Was it $33 million, something like that?
Yes.
Somewhere around $33 million? This had to, like, just by watching it, just by guessing, like $17 million probably.
Yeah, if that. Like, even, like, a lot of it is very 90s, as you can tell, like, straight off.
Yeah.
It's, like, even the camera work,
That's
I feel
special
is very...
90s, too, when it was early 90s, late 80s.
Right,
when it was
exactly.
that, like, special, like, it's like the best way to talk about that year would be the Seaver Years.
That's a good way to put it.
I think that show was on for like 7 years.
It was, yeah.
It's that good chunk. It's this. Everyone wanted to be the Seaver family. What was that? Growing Pains, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, Leonardo DiCaprio was on that show. Remember that?
Yep.
No, you don't. Shut up. All right, yeah. So it's just not a lot of information on this film. If that's going to be a theme, keep going. So let's just go ahead and do our favorite hour.
The best hour?
Yeah, the Troy McClure hour. Hello, I'm Troy McClure, and you'll recognize me from such sad attempts at animal actors as mascots. A massive group of Scottish men named Scott dress as popular mascots in mass for Sunday Mass, all while shouting, "Great Scott." Or Woof, the sitcom starring only dogs. It's a good thing that we're all so professional here. That we learn from each other's mistakes. So Denise Richards plays Tammy. You'll recognize her as Lieutenant Carmen Ibanez. I think that's how you say that name.
Yes.
Oh, good. Didn't even write down the film. Luckily, I remember it. That's from Starship Troopers. I don't know what Starship Troopers, what year it's from. 97 probably?
Yeah, I think 97,
somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Same thing. I didn't write down the film, but I remember that she played Dr. Christmas Jones in The World Is Not Enough. Is it The World Is Not Enough? Oh, shit. Now I don't remember. I think it was The World Is Not Enough. Oh, well. One of the James Bond movies. Her name's Christmas Jones. I think you're going to figure out which one it is.
No, I think it was Die Another Day that she was there.
Die Another Day? Now I got to look it up. You know, just once, I'd like to have a show full of professionals who did research and shut up their phones. Like, I got to talk to the guy in charge and figure out what he's doing with his life, because This is out of control, honestly. There it is. The World Is Not Enough from 1999.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, The World Is Not Enough from 1999. That's that one. And then most recently, she played Amanda Tyler in the 2017 American Violence. So very recently. I should have put down like what month it came out. That was really recent. Again, the guy in charge. He's the guy off his ass and did research. So Paul Walker plays Michael. You recognize him as Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious series, except for like, I think 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it was like literally just one of them.
Well, that was because he kind of died during the production and his brothers had to take over.
Look, I probably should have researched that, but, you know, what are you going to do? That's the show we're having today. He also played Lance Harbor in the 1999 Varsity Blues. That's the not Remember the Titans movie.
That's the I Don't Want Your Life movie.
Nope. That's how good of a movie that was, huh? And then most recently he played Brian O'Connor in the 2015 Furious 7. I think is like a flashback or something, right? Wasn't it?
Well, he was in it while they were doing production.
Oh, okay.
And then he died during production, so then they were like, well, we can't write him out because he's a big part of the movie.
They pulled the crow?
Yeah, so then they just had like his two brothers like kind of do like stand-in for him.
Oh, okay. A lot of scenes where Paul Walker is his back's to the camera while he talks
Pretty
to
much,
people. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
They're like side face.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Oh, yeah. IMDb says that the other star is Theo Forsett, who plays Byron, the gay best friend.
Okay.
But he was not as much of a star as Terry Kaiser,
Right, exactly.
who plays Dr. Wackenstein. You'll recognize him as fucking Bernie Lomax from the 1989 and its sequel, the 1993 Weekend at Bernie's. He's fucking Bernie. I mean, come on, you gotta mention that. Dr. Cruz in 1988, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. And most recently, I don't mean to be rude, but I was surprised to find out he's still alive and acting.
Me too, actually. Just now when I saw that, I was very surprised.
Most recently, he played Mort in the 2016 Almosting It.
Yeah, because I was pretty sure this movie probably killed his career.
No. Everyone else, though.
Not really.
Oh, no. Everyone else behind the scenes. Like the directors and the writers.
Oh, I can imagine.
No, never again.
See, and what I find so odd is that somehow Denise Richards and Paul Walker went on to be recognized names.
This was the start. Like, if you look in their history, they do this, and the next thing they do, that's like, oh, that was the thing that got them famous.
Right, exactly.
So, to me, that says that this movie somehow convinced whatever film they were in that got them the fame and the publicity and stuff like that, saw this and went, yeah. What? That's like, this was, what was this, 94?
Yeah.
And so what was, I think the next one that Denise Richards did was Starship Troopers.
Right.
Literally, the next one, and that got her famous. And then the same thing, which, not as famous, but still one people I think remember, is Paul Walker. The next one he did after this was Meet the Deedles.
Okay.
Which,
right.
that's like the first movie that he kind of actually started, and people were like, oh, I remember him in that. That's the dumb Paul Walker. You know, every actor does a dumb movie when they're young.
Right.
That's the one.
Oh, that's the one, not this one.
No, apparently, because whatever. He didn't really star in this movie. I mean,
that's true. Yeah,
he was in like the first 15 minutes, and then he was gone. Like you can't.
Yeah.
It's hard to say this is his breakout role. What?
No, you're right in that sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So let's start the film.
All right.
Oh, let's start the film. Okay. So just to be clear, where'd you watch this movie?
I watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But I watched the shorter version.
You watch the short? Yeah, because there's a version that's called Tammy and the T-Rex. Mm-hmm. You watch it; it's 122 minutes, or excuse me, an hour and 22 minutes. But it's edited for TV, not in ways that I would have expected.
Right.
I'm not sure because there was another version called the Gore Cut.
Yeah, I saw that after I saw the regular version.
It's what it is. It's the same movie, but all the scenes that were taken out, like for gore, are replaced with the Italian dubbed versions. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's the same film that you watched,
right.
But once it gets to a scene that it was cut out for TV, it gets lesser quality, and everybody speaks Italian. So I don't know.
Right?
I can see what's going on,
right.
So I can see why it was taken out, but I don't know what they're saying. Like, it's all charades. with no hands. So, yes, the film opens with the title screen and a woman riding a T-Rex in the distance. I genuinely thought that this is how the film was going to end. I thought it was going to go full circle, and I was like, oh my god, this is already, they're giving us garbage.
Not even that, just the title scene, too. I felt like it was from a Barney or something that.
Yes, the title scene was the perfect collection of garbage. It had the the bubble, neon color, not neon really, I guess preschool. Like you said, it seemed like a Barney the Dinosaur. It was very bubbly and very bright, and I was like, everything, it almost looked like bubblegum. It looked like someone, if they would have put the thing before it, was like,
okay, yeah.
And that's what it would have looked like.
Right.
The way the bubble, and then, she's riding on the T-Rex in the background, and Denise Richards on the T-Rex looks fake. The T-Rex looks fake. Basically the only thing real is just the scenery, the shot. Right. It looks like somebody took a picture.
Exactly. No,
you put a bunch of guys. You're like, this is our introduction. This is our introduction to the film. This is how we get started in it. So immediately we're away from that. We cut to what looks like a jazzercise class in a high school gym, and we hear a generic early '90s lazy rock song. It's like a fake Guns N' Roses song almost. But at the same time, it also reminded me of the song from Mr. Nanny. You remember the opening, the rough stuff song?
Yeah.
I just want to ride my motorcycle and I just want to go fish. It was the same thing. It sounded like, dancing ladies. Oh, I want to go crazy on the ladies. And they're making me into a dinosaur. Wow! It's what? So, that's what happened. So one of the cheerleaders, there's a footballer, he walks in and sits down. One of the cheerleaders takes him, and they walk to class, and they meet the local token, a black gay boy. Their friends were like, oh, this is Byron, this is Michael. They all introduce each other.
Part of me was just like, did they just think, you know what, 90s, we'll hit two birds with one stone. We'll throw in a black guy, and just to cover the gay factor, we'll make him gay on top of it, too.
All demographics in one character. We're killing it. But no, I agree with that 100% because after, what's his name? Byron was introduced. Byron and Tammy know each other. They're friends in this situation, and they're introducing the boyfriend, Michael.
Right.
Tammy is laughing at the existence of Byron. She can't even comprehend. What? A gay man? And he's what? It's the first time she's ever met a gay black anything.
Exactly. And then they make it too, if you're not sure that he's gay, they make sure to throw in little hints of the way he acts, or people saying
hints.
People saying subtle things in the background about it.
I like the subtle hint of don't bend over. Awful. So they go outside. Tammy gives Michael his tulip back because the tulip had a ring, and she was like, no, I can't accept this. I'm afraid of him and what he might do to you, Michael. And he's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Come on. Are you going to go to that party later? And then all of a sudden Billy shows up, and he's like, stay away from my girl. And they start a fight, and Billy's friends encourage Billy to commit murder in public on school grounds in the middle of the day while there's cop sirens going on in the background.
That, and then what I find amazing is how within seconds the whole school knows that this fight is going on, and they just happen to be surrounding the both of them.
There must be a Billy alarm for the school. Billy's here, somebody's gonna die, everybody go outside, quick! Because the second he showed up, the crowd gathered. They were like, oh, we're gonna see some blood today, this is gonna be great. And they were like that, or at least Billy's friends were. That one girl, the blonde girl.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, kill him, Billy, kill him! And I was like, that lady's a Nazi. I just immediately, I was like, oh, I've never immediately looked at a girl and went, you're a neo-Nazi. You don't even have to show me proof. You're definitely, everything about your personality.
Yeah, she was definitely, very into, watching Paul Walker's character get his ass beat.
There was no evil group that you could have revealed her to be a part of that I would have went, what? No way! Of course. Any KKK, you could have said she was part of ISIS. I would have went, duh. But she was so angry. So the fight breaks out. It's not much of a fight until the two boys just straight up grab each other by the groin, and they just won't let go.
Yeah, what fighting tactics do you have that you know what? You go, I'm not going to punch him or kick him. I'm just going to grab his dick, and that's going to paralyze him.
Oh, my God. Dude, I've willingly watched gay rape porn, and this is gayer than that porn.
I can imagine.
This is, like, I was watching it, I was like, dude, this is really sexual. Like, they should definitely kiss at the end of this. Like, this is hardcore, this stuff. They're like, I'm not letting go till you let go. Like, ah! They're just like, ah! I'm like, oh, my God. Put that erection away. It was really, really like uncomfortable, to be honest. So yeah, the cops show up. They break it up. Oh, but it turns out that Michael was acting, and he had a cup on. And Billy's like, "You're a dead man. I'm gonna kill you." And Tammy runs away. No.
Which, wouldn't you notice that you grabbed the cup and not a dick?
Nah, because I'm such a man, I have no idea what dicks feel like. Not even my own. I just put a cup on and then I pee. That's how I do it. You only wear cups when you pee. Why else would you have a cup on? Come on. It's not making sense. All right, so yeah, Tammy runs away, and then Billy and Byron talk about, man, her life sure is hard, huh? Then we jump to a dinosaur, roar! And a man moves around a very lifelike dinosaur robot as he is directed by his boss to do so. I don't know if you noticed this. They're like, oh my God, a dinosaur! And they're all like looking up and like, oh, he's so tall! The first time you go like, but dude, dinosaur, and then we cut to like the evil Dr. Wet. The dinosaur's standing on like a 3-foot platform.
Yeah,
like you can see it to begin with. So I'm like how realistically this dinosaur has to be 7 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
He has to be. And all throughout the movie, he's walking around, like, every time he meets another person, they're like, oh, my God, look at that 12-foot tall dinosaur. Oh, look, he must be 20 feet. That's a 100-foot dinosaur over there. And I'm like, what are you? He's eye level to you the whole film. Like, what? So the doctor says, oh, I'm going to get you a brain, and then I'm going to make you immortal. Because, of course, human brains don't require any upkeep at all, like, in any way.
See, what I find odd, too, in this scene is that he gets mad because the dinosaur isn't doing what he's saying. But it's clearly proven at the beginning of the scene that there's a guy controlling the dinosaur's movements.
Why? How come this dinosaur doesn't move on its own? I don't know what that guy's doing in that booth, but
Exactly, it's just like, you should be pissed at the guy in the booth, not the dinosaur.
Why can't this dinosaur just learn to tap dance, huh? Like, it was so hard. I did it. 2 years jazz, 3 years tap. Come on. Yeah. So immortality, yay. We go to Michael's house, and Tammy calls him, and she's like, "Oh, I don't want to be alone anymore. Just come over." He's like, "Yeah, of course, I'll be right over there in a second. Oh boy." He runs over. We go to Tammy's house. Tammy lives in one of those like super rich 90s California suburbs that like every car in every house is in the garage. Like I don't know. I don't know if that's like a white trash thing or if that's just like a regional thing, but who puts their car in their garage? That's where you store all your crap.
Exactly.
Like, what are you talking about?
That's why you get a garage. It's a storage unit. They don't pay for it.
You get a garage because sheds are tacky. That's why you get a garage. So, yes, Michael goes over to Tammy's house. He sneaks up into the window and all that stuff. As he's going there, Tammy's neo-Nazi psychopath girlfriend just happens to be doing her like hourly drive-by of Tammy's house to like check. I don't know why she was driving by her house, but she was. And it just happened to be at the right time where she sees Michael sneaking in, and she's like, "Oh, let's go get Billy. It'll be great."
Yeah, it's strange how happy she was by the fact that she's like, oh shit, I caught this, and shit's gonna go down.
That's why I'm like, dude, she's a Nazi. Like, she loves just evil and violence and just, oh, we're gonna see men bleed today. Yeah! Like, dude, fucking, like, what? I don't know what that is. Not enough fathering, too much fathering, I don't know. There's some sort of parental issue involved. So... which, actually, I should point out, is a theme throughout this film, because right next is when I keep getting the name, Michael sneaks into the house, he falls over, makes a bunch of noise. Then Tammy's phone rings, and I'm like, who the fuck's calling her? And like midnight, oh, it's her dad saying, well, I heard some commotion. What's all that? I was like, what are you talking about? Who calls their kid's room?
Right, exactly. Not even that. A little bit later on, too, there's a scene where the mom's like, don't go up there. She doesn't like to be bothered. It's like, but it's your house.
Yeah, that's what I was like. What? Like, they must have walked in on her gangbanging an entire NBA team. And we're just like, listen, honey, you're a grown-up now. We won't go to your stuff. You don't talk about our stuff. It'll be fun. We'll call you if we need anything. Oh, my God. But at the same time, when it happens later, when they hear a noise, and then they're like, oh, don't go up there. I'm like, maybe they go up there, and then she's like, get away! And they're like, well, I don't know how to handle a white woman, so I guess let her do whatever she wants, and then she'll have to deal with a sense of entitlement when she's 40. Yeah, that'll work out. That'll work out. Yeah. Solid. Everything's coming up Millhouse. I talk about that with my brother all the time. I'm like, man, white women are so entitled.
Yeah.
It's
very odd. The older they get, the more entitled they become for some reason.
Yeah,
You're
and
right.
it's so hard to explain to a 40-year-old woman, like, you know you don't deserve stuff, right? You understand that you have to work for stuff? I know I have to work for stuff. My husband cheated on me, and I had to get a lawyer. And no, that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, I had a kid, and I didn't get it. Whatever. Look, now I'm just bashing. Now I'm not even doing jokes. Let me tell you about my ex-wife, folks. No. Because she's dead. So... yeah, Billy shows up to Tammy's house, and Mike and Tammy are making out. And Billy... like, I can't tell. I don't know... like, are the parents garbage? Are the kids garbage? I don't know what's going on. Because Billy shows up, and they go, oh, Billy, you mean that boy that's been stalking our daughter and has been sent to jail multiple times because of it?
Yeah.
No, I won't call the cops. I'll handle it.
Yeah, I think they even mentioned that they have, like, a restraining order against him, too.
Yeah, and he shows up with a gang, and the dad's like, no, I've got this. He'll listen to reason.
Exactly.
The second the dad opens the door, he goes, what are you? Billy and half of his gang are already a third of the way into the living room. Like, they're already in the house. The dad goes, hey, what's going on? Billy's already up the stairs. Like, he can't even begin to try to restrain Billy. Billy's a lightning bolt into Tammy's room. Mike sneaks out, and Billy's like, I'm gonna get you! And he chases him out. He runs out. The dumbest part of the whole film is Michael runs away from Billy. Billy gets in his car, drives after him. Michael keeps running down the road until he gets a fork in the road, and then takes one of the forks and just keeps running down the road. So, of course, Billy and his gang follow him in cars. Yeah. Why would you just go right? Just take a right onto the grass, and they'll all go, cars don't work that way.
Not even that. It is shown at the beginning of the scene that he, too, has his own car.
Yes.
That he has, like, maybe 10 feet away from the house.
He literally runs past his truck to get away from Billy.
Good.
Fine. Oh, okay, fine. Okay. Because Billy was chasing him, so if he stopped to get his truck, he would have... okay, fine. Don't use the truck. They're chasing you. Why don't you just, like, go in the backyard and loop back around?
Right, exactly.
Why, like, Paul Walker deserves his own death. He deserves his own death. So... Billy catches up with him. They beat him with a bat. They drag him into a zoo/animal preserve, which is called Animal Park. So I don't know what that is.
Okay, I didn't catch it. I was about to say if they had specified what it was. Because
literally, there's a sign that says Animal Park, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that is. Is it a nature reserve? Is it a zoo that they broke into?
Let alone if it's a nature reserve. What nature reserve has a lion, a black panther, and a cheetah all in one area?
In the same enclosure. Like, not even like in the... oh, like, we're going to put them in... this is the cat area. No, in the same enclosure.
Exactly, yeah.
Which, they deleted it, so I'll explain when it gets up to. But double down, they're definitely in the same enclosure. So, yeah, they go in the park, and they're like, we're going to leave you here. See you later, Michael. And they drive away. And Michael is almost immediately... like, I think he takes about 5 steps before he's mauled in the face by a lion.
Now, even before we get to that,
yeah,
this is what I find so odd. They stop,
Yeah.
they clearly see a lion,
Yeah.
and then they all decide, this is when we're going to get out of our cars and throw Michael on the ground.
Yeah.
Who in their right fucking mind sees a lion and goes, that's it, I'm getting out of my car?
What was their plan before the lion? Like, because he saw the lion and went, oh, wait, this is it, guys, stop. Where were they going to go?
Exactly.
What if the lion was sleeping? They would just keep driving around and around and around, and then Billy would go, I'm getting sleepy, guys. Let's just let him go home. Like, like what are they going to... Oh, my gosh. So, yeah, they fucking... The lion eats him. They cut scenes from here, which is where he runs for a little bit. He climbs up a tree.
Yeah,
and then he sees a panther.
Right.
And then he climbs down away from it, and he runs away, and then he sees the cheetah, and he goes, oh, no. And he turns away from the cheetah, and there's the lion. Ah! And he gets attacked by the lion. So, because in this one, they drive into the park. You see a leopard in the tree. You see a cheetah in the distance. And then they see the lion. They go, stop, that's the lion we're going to use, or whatever. But when they cut it, he actually runs, comes face-to-face to the lion, face-to-face to the cheetah. Like, he actually interacts with the cheetah. So they're all definitely in the same, like... 20-foot perimeter. Like, they are feet away from each other constantly. So, dead. Obviously, he's dead. The rest of this film is a death hallucination. We did our job, folks. We can all go home now. So we go to the hospital, and then I don't know if it was the same for you, but for me, this is the first scene in the film where there's actual comedy in the movie. There's actual comedy, finally.
Yeah.
So Tammy rushes to see Michael at the hospital. Again, we get comedy right away, where she goes, oh, please, I need to see my boyfriend. I believe he was hurt. And then some guy walks up and goes, oh, my God, I'm bleeding to death. Help! And the receptionist goes, hang on a minute. Yeah, honey, what do you need? Oh, your boyfriend's in this room. The guy goes, ah! Just falls over and
that part I missed that he fell over.
I was like, this is where all the comedy was. Right? We get into the hospital. Byron and Tammy are there. Byron gays it up. Tammy... white woman's it up. Like, it's just, she's just like, oh my God, oh. Byron's just like, I can't tell, load it. I'm like, why'd you guys come here? Despite being mauled in the face by a lion, the face is the only thing we can see of Paul Walker right now.
Not even that. Doesn't even seem like he has any cuts or bites or anything.
Absolutely fine, unchecked.
And then let's not forget, too, this is where we meet his uncle, too, who's passed out drunk.
Yes.
And then, of course, we got to make sure to pitch that, the black guy's gay. When he faints, he falls on the uncle's knee. And he goes, ooh, who's this?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. That's terrible. God damn. So, what happens? Yeah, Billy shows up, and he tries to take Tammy with him. Like, let's go, you're my girl. And she's like, I'm not coming with you. So he slaps her. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, no! Ah! And gives her, like, this really, like, shitty, like, karate kick into the groin. And he's all, my balls! And then what's his name? Weasel, I think? Like, his sidekick, his little shitty sidekick is also there. So Billy and the sidekick leave. First off, I want that judge. The judge where I attempt to kill a man with a lion and my punishment is to be kicked in the testicles once? Oh, yeah. I want that to be my sentence. Billy got off really light. Super light.
Attempted murder. Yeah. Getting kicked in the nuts once. Yeah.
So getting kicked in the nuts with a level of degree where you could still walk away from it.
Yeah, exactly.
He walked away and made threats. Like, he could still be like, I'm going to get you for this. Ha, ha, ha. Walks away. I was like, that's the lightest punishment ever.
Exactly.
Also, you think he would have learned to wear a cup by now. Like, fine. Don't.
Only when he pees, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Only when he wasn't peeing. Of course not. Why would he wear a cup? He's not peeing. Guys, think about it, folks. So, the dino doctor from earlier, this is when he says, my name's Dr. Wackenstein. Or he says, my name is Dr. Wachenstein. I think he says something like that. But it's written down as Dr. Wackenstein. That's the way I thought it was. So, yeah, he's like, I'm a doctor. Oh, what happened? Tell me, is Michael okay? Is his brain all right? Was he crazy at all? No? Oh, well, then how convenient for me that he just happened to die. Oh, he's dead now. Goodbye. We'll take his body. And they take his body. And it's fine, because when Michael dies, everyone goes, oh! and faints. So they're all gone. We cut to them putting Michael in the car. This is another thing. There's a lot of things like this that were cut, which is after everyone passes out, the nurse puts Michael's body in the gurney, and she wheels him out of the room. Cut to, she's coming out of the hospital and putting him in the car.
Right.
For some reason, they cut. She goes out of the hospital room, has to, for literally like a 7-second scene, sneak past reception, and then opens a door, and that door is the outside, which is where I was like, that was a weird... I mean, you didn't need it at all, but it was weird that it was in there, that you had to cut it. Like, it was just such a strange thing that So they put him in the car anyway. Michael wakes up, and the nurse punches him in the face, knocks him out, and then he wakes up again. Oh, no, excuse me. They give him a drug, and he knocks out. Then he wakes up again. He's like, oh, man, I had a strange dream. You were there, and you were there, and you were there. Oh, wow. And I was like, oh, Wizard of Oz. All right. And then the nurse punches him unconscious. So they go to the evil guy's lair, and the doctor, he saws open Michael's head. But before he could saw him open, he wakes up again. So the nurse punches him out again. Yeah. Well, that was one of the things about the movie that I like, which is one of the other doctors was like, would you stop doing that? You're going to give him brain damage. Like, I was like, oh, good. At least they're aware of it.
Which then makes you wonder, how many times has he gotten up and she's punched him that the other doctor's like, you're going to give him brain damage?
I'm going to presume that is exclusively how they perform all anesthesia on every patient they've had, which is why he feels the need to bring it up. Like, don't do that. You're going to cause brain damage like you have with all the other patients. Like, you know this is a thing by now, guy. Cut it out. So, yeah, he punches him unconscious again, and then they cut open his brain, and then the bodyguard throws up. This was all cut. This is a whole scene that was cut, which is where they go to open up his and then you and what you saw, which is they go and they cut away before it touches him, and you see the bodyguard go and kind of like throw open his mouth.
Right.
No, you see the blade go to the skin. Blood just starts squirting out everywhere. The doctor who was like, he's going to give him brain damage. He has to put up his medical clipboard, and there's blood just spraying like a stream into it. You literally see the line form on his head, and you see his skull get taken out off the top of his head. And like his brain, crazy. They hold the brain and stuff, and they shake it around. The bodyguard throws up in his mouth, and they cut away, and they cut back again, and there's like more, just out in the open, like it's too much to contain. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was at this point in the movie that I went, wait, is this movie not PG? Turns out it's PG-13.
I would have never guessed
That's why, when I saw this, I went, wait a minute, this is a total, hang on. This is a totally different movie. It is. Like, I had no idea. Like, watching this, and I was like, for like a PG film, this isn't like the worst thing I've ever seen. And when I went, I was, 13? Oh, this is...
Yeah, exactly. This is even worse than...
No. I can't imagine how many curses they cut out to get to PG-13. Because there's so many times where it seems like someone was going to say, like, hey, I'm going to get you, you mother, or something like that.
Right.
And I'm going to get you. And they cut it. Like, I don't think that was the end of the sentence. It feels like there was going to be more after the you. And that happens a lot. Like, I think the police chief was like, oh, damn it, Byron's... And, like, oh, were you going to say son of a bitch? Like, what happened? Like, there was definitely something more after that. What? So, but that adds to, because I watched your version first, the shorter version. I was like, this movie is cut to shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This movie is sliced and diced.
And it's like not even in a way too that like it blends it. It's just like in a way where you obviously tell like they went, well, we got to cut it here.
Yeah.
And go into the next scene that has nothing to do with what we just cut from.
Yeah. Yeah. Sliced and diced, like I said. So, where were we? Yeah, blood flies everywhere. They open the brain, they poke and prod it. They fucking... when I saw this, I was like, oh, that's why they got rid of that scene. Because he goes, let's see if the brain works. And he pokes the brain in an area, and then Michael gets like a fucking 8-foot erection. I was like, oh, wow, that's... And then they take their finger off, and it goes back down. And they're like, it works, aha! I was like, oh.
Why?
All right.
Why would we need a scene?
Yeah. So then we get to where they put it in the dinosaur body, and it molests the nurse, and it beats up the bodyguard, and it works. Yay! A little bit later, this is what you saw, I think, which is later somebody orders pizza, like a pizza guy just shows up, and then Michael wakes up, scares the pizza guy, sees his body, goes, oh no. Cut to shit. What happens is the bodyguard and the clipboard guy, like the robot controller, they're just like sitting around like, oh, let's order pizza. They order pizza, the pizza guy arrives, gives them their pizza. No, excuse me. He gets scared by the dinosaur. He runs away. Then the two henchmen come out, the scientist and then the bodyguard. They go, oh, look, free pizza. They eat the pizza. They talk. I don't know because it's in Italian. So they talk for like a good 2 minutes. I got no idea what it's about. I think it's literally just like, oh, this is how the dinosaur works. His brain, like it's based because they point at a computer screen a lot and stuff like that. So it makes it seem like they're just like explaining the background. Like, well, his brain is hooked up to a machine, but like all the science that we don't have. The bodyguard leaves. He goes, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom or something like that. He leaves. The scientist guy turns around, notices that Michael Dinosaur is awake in Italian, so I don't know what he says, but it looks like he starts straight up mocking him. Like, bah, 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 ha, 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 like mocking him. So Michael eats him. Full on. Oh, he's dead. He eats him. The bodyguard comes back in, is like, hey, what's all that noise and stuff like that. That's when we see Michael gets up, goes toward the dinosaur. He's like, oh, what, Byron or whoever the scientist is. He's like, oh, is this you? What's going on? He fights him, kicks the bodyguard. Well, he doesn't fight him. He's like, I know karate. And then Dino Michael just like knocks him out of the room, out of the building. And then he steps on him outside and squishes him flat. And then, it's the rest of the movie, which is he goes in the back alley, he makes a phone call to Tammy, gets the answer machine.
Well, what I find weird is, like, in the back alley, there's some guy and his girl on a date or leaving somewhere.
That's after the phone call, yeah. Before the phone call, there's a woman making a bet on the phone. Yeah. She's like, oh my God, there's a dinosaur coming to get me! Make sure you put that eighth and the third and the... Oh!
Yeah, which I find really odd. It's like, you're afraid of the dinosaur, but you want to make sure that your bet goes through.
That's comedy, dude. What are you talking about? Come on, son. That was actual... It wasn't good, I'll admit. It wasn't the best of comedy, but it was the minuscule amount of comedy that is in this film. That was part of it, yes. The part after it, which was also supposed to be comedy, was less enjoyable, which is when the couple comes out and they go, they have an argument or whatever, and they go, look at a dinosaur. He's like, no, I think it's real. And he goes, yeah, that's what you think. And then it is real. And they go, ah! I was like, ugh, why, whatever. Just, that was essential to the film as a whole. Without that, so many plot holes would have been created. Oh, boy.
Oh, and I also like to mention, too, is... when he's using the phone is the first time we see the terrible use of dinosaur hands.
Fuck you, terrible. You mean the greatest use of dinosaur hands.
Oh, yeah, let's make sure to show everyone the full size of the T-Rex and how small his hands are to his body, but yet he can stretch him out to what you call the dial phone.
This actually isn't the first time we see it. The first time we see it is back when we first see the dinosaur, because he goes, now let's test its strength. Here, Gunther, or whatever the bodyguard.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Give him this dumbbell, and you see the two T-Rex hands reach out and grab the dumbbell, and I went, oh my God, yes! Yes! It's like, is this the greatest? Oh my God, it was so bad. I loved it. So, people freak out. But, whatever. We go to a party, and the whole cast of the Power Rangers is there. Right? Did you notice that? How we see this big, fat, biker-looking guy. I was like, there's Bulk, and he's dancing with this nasty-looking slut. And I was like, there's Slut Repulsa. And then a guy in literally all blue walks by, and I went, oh, there goes the Blue Ranger. I was like, that was weird. Right? And then what happens? Oh, then here comes Lord Billy with his evil sidekick Skull, the skinny Skull for Bulk and Skull, and his Putty Patrol, his unnamed group of Putty Patrol show up, and they want to talk to the Pink Ranger, Tammy, who's dressed in pink, and the Black Ranger, Byron, because he's black. Oh, who's the Red Ranger? Oh, the T-Rex, Michael.
Oh, man.
That's how I did that shit, son.
Shit.
That is all right there. That's what they do.
Damn.
Listen, Power Rangers existed during this time frame,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they could have done that if that's what they wanted to do. So yeah, Billy shows up and he wants to talk to Tammy, but she doesn't want to see him for the rest of her life ever. Which I just thought was a great line. I wish I could have been there when they wrote that line. All right, so Billy's like, I want to talk to you, Tammy, and Tammy's like, I'm done with you. No, we need some like I don't want to see you like for the rest of my life ever? Yes, people say that all the time. My life ever. Oh, why? Oh. Shame on me for not thinking of that earlier. I mean, it's like the go-to phrase. So, yeah, she leaves. Byron, he's like, I can't believe this has happened. I want to go get a drink. And at this point, I was just like, Byron is the only black and the only gay kid in this entire school. Like, there's no reason for us to believe that he's ever been in a relationship or has any other friends other than Tammy. And I was like, do you think he goes to these parties specifically to try to get some drunk white boy to want to do gay stuff? Like, he goes to a party, gets too drunk, and he's like, why not?
I could see that. I could see that he would do something like that.
That's all of Byron's existence is just, maybe this white boy will get drunk enough that I could do some stuff with him.
Well, it's possible, because because in the next scene, doesn't he go get a drink and the girl's there, and she's like, oh, he's mine, or something like that to him?
Yeah. Which was, he did that. He was like, ooh, I guess I'll hang out with you. And the girl was, back off, he's mine! And I was like, ew. What?
So you may be right on that he just shows up and trolls for gay, for drunk guys that are willing to do gay things.
It could be. That guy was like, that bartender, what was his name? He was like, Captain Billy? No, what did he say? He said something like, he gave himself some name, and I was like, ugh, like he's gonna molest somebody. Like, oh my god. So, Dino Mike shows up and he stalks Billy from a distance. The skinny sidekick goes to pee, and somehow he doesn't, like, notice that he's peeing on a dinosaur leg. And so Dino Mike, what I thought was clawed his dick off, but because they cut it and I got to see what it actually was you saw what it was. He was staying there, and then you see the dino.
Right.
Well, then they literally cut to Skull, whatever that kid's, a weasel, physically holding a bunch of fake organs that he drops and goes, ah! And then falls over. But you can clearly see he still has a t-shirt on.
Right.
Like, they didn't rip the t-shirt or pull it up. Like
right.
It's literally his organs drop from his shirt. Like,
which is a little even weirder, because in the next scene when the cops show up, don't they show him as if he was squished by the dinosaur?
Technically, based on what I saw, it looks like his chest was burned. It doesn't look like he was scratched, because it doesn't look like he has claw marks on him. It doesn't look like he was squished. He's on the ground, but he's not flat. But he's got, like... It just looks like burnt flesh on his chest. Huh. It's super weird. Like, when it got to that scene, I went, what could Michael have possibly done to this guy that gave him that wound?
Right.
Like, it's like, it looked as if he used his claws to scrape off not only the entire top layer of clothes, but the entire top layer of skin. Like, but left the second, he tore off the epidermis, but left the dermis. Like, it was such a weird complexion. I couldn't for the life. I have no idea how this kid died.
Right.
And then when I saw the cut and the organs dropped out, I went, I wish there was mystery, because that's bad. So, anyway, Dino Mike then walks over to Billy, who's banging his lady in a car. How have you still not put that on silent yet?
It's on vibrate. That's the weird thing. It is on vibrate.
Wow. That's amazing. Go fuck yourself. What are you, like an Amber Alert or something?
No.
So, what was happening? Yes, Billy's banging his girlfriend. This is also something that's cut. You know, in the movie, when you watch it, you see them banging in the distance. They go in closer. She screamed, and Billy goes, I'm good, right? Yeah! Well, there's an extra, 10, 15 seconds of her just going, ooh, ooh, ooh. How bad of an actress do you have to be to not even convincingly do porn? You know what's awkward about porn? being naked. Oh, and she wasn't, and she still couldn't do it. Like, it's just awful. Actually, to be fair, she was fine. It was Billy who was terrible. Because it's acting, and she was going, "Woo!" and Billy was like, "Well, this is how I normally fuck, so I'm not gonna go any better." Like, because he was not like that was my original complaint, was that he's not hitting it based on the sounds that she's making. Like, he should be going at it a lot harder. And in my mind, I blamed him, not her. I was like, look, she's trying, and what are you giving her? Nothing but arrogance. I'm good, right? Oh, you must be good. Look at this orgasm I have to fake. You must be real good. So, yeah. Billy runs away as Dino Mike literally eats that slut's leg. And she is a slut, too, because she was dancing with someone before Billy showed up.
Right.
Also, before Billy showed up, she left that guy she was dancing with to go hang out with a girl, which seemed sexual, and then she left that girl to be with Billy. So she's garbage. She's sexual garbage.
Sexual garbage.
That's what she is. She's sexual garbage. You use that. You use that phrase. So everybody sees Dino Mike because Billy runs. And he's like, "Oh my god, a dinosaur! Run, everybody!" Ah! Actually, he goes, "Oh my god, a dinosaur! Run, everybody!" And everyone's like, "What's wrong with Billy? Is Billy drunk? Maybe he's playing charades. I don't know." And then the dinosaur eats Billy. Again, what you saw was the dino come down, pick up Billy, cut to everyone going, "Ah!" and running away.
Right.
What was shown was reach down, pick up Billy out of scene, then Billy's body drops, then a rubber mask filled to the brim with blood drops. And that is supposed to simulate his head being ripped off.
Terrible.
It was 1,000% clearly a stiff rubber mask filled with blood because it fell in that way. Mm-hmm. You know, the way, like if you dropped a bucket, the way a bucket would fall. So, you know, like,
right.
Yeah, it felt like it was a head, an empty bucket filled with stuff so that the skull was going down and the neck was up. And it was just like, man, I know you're working with what you have, but... So, yeah, Billy is dead. There are two unnamed followers that he steps on. So when he was walking towards Byron, he steps on them. What was cut was them throwing up blood as he steps on them.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It was gross. So he goes to Byron. He picks up Byron, dusts him off. Byron runs. Then two guys, they're like, "Oh my god, he's come this way!" And they hide under a car.
Right.
And he goes over the car and jumps on the car and squishes them. Again, what was cut was you not seeing their head being flattened. No blood, just flattened.
Interesting.
Like clay. It was really weird, yeah. It was really weird. Yeah, everyone's dead. Yay. Later, the police arrive. They see the carnage. They see, as we said, they see Weasel, the skinny sidekick. He's got some strange large chest wound. They find other survivors. And, well, actually, before they find survivors, I'm just like, I know what am I going to do? It's a movie made in '94 with people who didn't give, like, it's beyond my measure, but you should not have the fucking attitude that these cops have. They went to a teenage mass murder. And they're like, "What? You never seen blood before?" Oh my! What? I bet you can't even hook your own bait when you go fishing. I hook my bait with dead teenage corpses. What are you talking about?
Exactly, and the one cop says his whole thing is like, "Oh, you should come hunting. I'll teach you how to gut a deer, and that'll take care of it." It's like
children's skulls have been ripped clean from their bodies. How are you not? Like, you should have, by the very least, based on limited police knowledge, he shouldn't be eating at a crime scene.
Yeah, exactly.
How about just factually based on the rules, you shouldn't be eating at a crime scene? Oh, who killed him? Was it the sunflower seed killer? Guess we'll never know now. Fucking contaminate. Fucking Jesus Christ. Oh man, I just can't stand that like bullshit. Like, what's the matter? You got no stomach for murdered humans? Like,
right, exactly.
That is something you check on immediately.
Let alone it's not just one. it's clearly like 20 kids who have been murdered.
Billy, Skull, the two friends, the two friends.
The two guys underneath the
Two guys
car.
under the car. So that's 5. Is there anybody else?
No, I guess 4.
5. Still 5.
Exactly.
Dead kid by. Oh my god. It's not like they were all shot in the chest.
Either, right,
They
exactly.
had parts of their body ripped off. 2 people were squished, torsos were squished to death. Mm-hmm. 1 woman died after her leg was ripped from her body. 1 man died as his head was ripped from his body. Another man, what was the other one? Two squished. One was his chest was ripped, and they're all just like, well, what are you gonna do? That's life. Whatever. So they find survivors. They're like, what happened? The survivors are like, I don't know. We're in shock. Why would we know? They're like, come on, you know. Tell us everything.
Yeah, and then the first thing, oh, you're not going to get anything out of her. You're going to have to smack her.
The same cop that thinks dead kids is okay. Fucking, this guy is garbage.
Yeah, and then after the whatchamacallit, Byron says, like, no, it's okay. You go check that out. The other cop comes over like, do you want me to smack her? It's like, what the fuck? What is going on? What kind of police work is this that your first thing is like, this bitch just saw something. She's losing her shit. I gotta beat the shit out of her to break her of it.
This is a guy that can't get an erection unless somebody screams. That's what he sounds like to me. Not that that's a bad thing, I'm just saying. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you know? It's perfect. And if that's what you are, it's perfectly acceptable in this day and age. It's fine. So, Byron shows up and he's like, Dad, because the only other black guy in town is his dad, of course. And he's like, it was a dinosaur. Like, I'm telling you the truth. It was a dinosaur. And the chief is like, oh, what? Have everybody, including the victims, tested for drugs. So we go to an evil lair now. Go back. The evil nurse finds the bodyguard flat. Remember, he got flat a couple scenes earlier. His name's Carl, apparently. Doesn't matter, he's dead. But apparently his name was Carl. The doctor, Dr. Wackenstein, he's overjoyed with how famous they're going to be when they show their investors what they're capable. Look what we're capable of. We'll be rich. Oh my goodness.
What I find odd though is she notices that he's dead, lifts up his head, and then licks her hand.
Yeah,
it's like, what is wrong with you?
So this scene, what I have in my notes was after this scene, I went, this movie is sick.
Yeah, seriously,
because not only in the scene does this woman eat someone else's blood. At the end of the scene, the doctor goes, oh, and then once we get money, I'll hook it up for us, so we'll have other bodies, and when I do that, I'll hook up the libido section so we can have fun. So now he's talking about fucking her as a dinosaur.
Which is then weird because, isn't it a robot? So you're going to attach a robot penis to your robotic dinosaurs just so that you can screw around with her?
Look, I think that if we learned anything from the 1800s Wild West, it's that a man can create robotic parts to have sex with a lady.
That's true. That's true. I forgot about the Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West. Yeah. What all it is a bunch of hard steel and strong pumping. And you could do that with mechanics. That was a kids' movie, I'm pretty sure, Wild Wild West.
Yes. It unfortunately was supposed to be a kids' movie.
Watching Wild Wild West is awful. Remembering Wild Wild West is the greatest experience anyone could ever have. They said so many racist things in that movie to people's faces. He called a black guy a coon to his face. That's horrible. That's horrible. I can't believe that happened in what was supposed to be considered a children's film. Oh, man. What a great experience that film is. So, we go to Tammy's house now. And Tammy is fresh from a shower, ready to be kidnapped by her dinosaur boyfriend. And she is. Her father hears something and he tries to investigate. And this is when we get the dad like, I think something's happening. The mom's like, no, she doesn't like it when we go up there. And I was like, man, maybe they tried to be parents and it didn't work out. So we cut to a warehouse. And Dino Mike has taken Tammy to his abandoned warehouse / barn. Like, I don't know how you classify that, really. I think a warehouse is a warehouse, and a barn is a warehouse with hay. I think those are the classifications. Dino Mike tries to help Tammy figure out that it's Mike, so they play charades. And I was like, oh, of course! Dinosaur charades! A man smart enough, he has a human brain, he understands English, but he can't just scratch stuff in the fucking dirt and be like, my name is Michael, my brain was stolen. Like, what? He's got to play charades and be like, brain sounds like rain, rhymes with pain, not insane, which is what you are for believing any of this. Is she insane, or is she the smartest woman in the history of the world? Because she immediately figures out all the charades. Like, he's doing the charades, going like, oh, hey, and I'm sitting there going, oh, no! You've clearly eaten my boyfriend's brain, and now you're here to mock me! Oh, no! She was like, oh, I get it. You have Michael's brain inside your body because you're Michael inside a T-Rex's body. I was like, what? How much trauma did you just now go through, right in this second? It was a flabbergasting situation. Seriously, how much trust do you have in your girlfriend that if you disappeared for a week, right? Say you were gone for like a week. How long after that week would it take for some random person to show up and go, oh, I'm Danny, my brain got switched. And she would go, yeah, okay. Oh man, because if the answer is yes, she would, you just leave her. Because that's not good for your future, dude. It's not okay. Same shit. Ladies, if you feel your boyfriend would do that, get rid of him. Actually, just get rid of him anyway. He's garbage. I'm sure he's garbage. Men are awful. Just get rid of all of them. So, yeah. Tammy figures it out, immediately cries. We go back to Tammy's house. The police start investigating a giant hole in Tammy's wall and her disappearance. But she just kind of shows up from the side and is super cool and pretended like nothing happened. Like, what happened? She's like, I don't know. A meteorite, maybe?
Exactly. It's like... And it's so weird. It's like, okay, fine. If a meteorite did happen to go through your wall, yeah. Why are you coming from the backyard looking for it?
Also, where's the rock?
Yeah, like, that too. Yeah.
Why isn't it in our living room? Yeah. So she's like, oh, Byron, because Byron shows up. He's like, Byron, it's Michael. Don't tell anybody, but it's really Michael. We'll talk later. And, yeah, that's it. We'll talk later. Bye. So, Michael, actually, I do want to point out, is she goes, oh, it turns out that was Michael. His brain got swapped with a T-Rex. And Byron goes, I knew it. I was like, man, the 90s, you could tell anybody anything about science in the 90s, and they would go, oh, of course. What? Science was the closest thing we had left to magic in the 90s. Like, in the 80s, we had Star Wars and shit like that, and people were like, the Force and magic and shit like that. And then that died, and then we had, no, but, guys, science is real. They're like, science? That's like magic! Ah, the Force and midichlorians! Science! Yeah! Magic! Yeah, so if you're wondering why the fuck did they put midichlorians in Star Wars, it's because people thought science were magic back in the 90s.
I totally believe
that.
Yeah. I totally believe it.
Yeah, we're coming to a lot of realizations here. I don't know what they are, but we're coming to them. We're running right past them. So we go to a funeral. Michael's drunk uncle says a couple of words. And everyone cries, including Dino Mike. I don't know if you noticed that. Dino Mike is watching from a distance. Mm-hmm. He also cries when his uncle says words.
I miss him crying.
It was so fucking, it was great.
I missed that because I was so, like, confused by the fact that, like, Mitt talking about how he misses Michael and Michael made him a better person.
Yeah.
The priest just, like, comes over and just, like, shoves him out. It's like, okay, that's enough of your shit. Let me get on with this.
Yeah. Oh. I was kind of surprised that nobody saw Michael, though.
Yeah, that's so good.
Cause, first off, it doesn't matter how tall the object is he's standing next to. The dinosaur is always one dino head taller than that object. Every single time. Which is why I say it doesn't make sense, because when we first see him, he's like a 7-foot dino. Then we see him at the funeral, he's a 10-foot dino. Then we see him later on, and he's a 20-foot dino. Then it's just like, yo, how tall is this?
And not even that. His head sticking out of the side. You can put him behind as many trees as you want. You're still going to notice a fucking dinosaur head.
Yeah, like, it's just... Nobody looks up in this universe. Nobody ever looks up in this universe. Same thing. It's... What was his name? Skull. Weasel. Peed on the dinosaurs. Peed on the legs. Didn't look up. He just peed on a weird tree. A weird dino leg-shaped tree.
You know, that's odd. This tree has nails. But fuck it. I'm still going to pee on it.
Yeah. Is this... I think this tree's giving off heat. Whatever. So yeah, the priest, like you said, pushes the guy out of the way, and he goes, "Amen," and everyone leave. And literally, he goes, "Amen." Everyone's like, "Amen." They just walk away. The nurse and the doctor, Dr. Wackenstein, they watch from a distance, and they mention that their invention, like, look at these people, all these sad people. Don't they know my invention's going to cure? It's going to be end of this. They never have a sad moment in their lives. No one will ever die. They all have pets and blah. And I don't know if it was just me, but this part of this, like, the scene, they did not explain it well. I literally, until the scene was over, I had no idea what was happening. Which is, suddenly, Tammy and Byron decide they have to go inside Michael's grave. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why? Like, why are they doing this? And they're like, come on, we gotta get his body. And I'm like, why are they getting... I didn't understand it. And they opened the thing, and then, oh my god! It was a terrible... I don't know if it was another corpse, or if it was Michael's corpse very badly preserved.
Okay. I was wondering, too, because part of me was just like, he's only been dead what it seemed like maybe 2-3 days tops. How is he already decaying to the point where, you know, he's unrecognizable?
Yeah.
And where was he that there was rats?
Yeah, I would say that he's decayed, not unrecognizable. Well, he is, but to the point where he has no flesh.
Yeah.
He's decayed to bones in 2 days. He's covered in rats and filled with maggots because his jaw literally has a pile of maggots inside of it.
Right. And then on top of it, too, it looked like the casket he was in wasn't so much a casket as much as a trunk.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can make a casket out of whatever you want. You don't have to get the fancy option, you know? Whatever. He's got a drunk uncle who's paying for, you know what I mean? Put him in a basket. So he was rotting body. The doctor and the nurse show up. They grab Tammy and threaten her life because, what's his name? Michael Dynamite. He shows up and he's watching us. So he's like, no, watch out or I'll cut her trachea or whatever. He threatens her with a knife. And Byron, who for whatever reason had already been pushed into the grave, stands up and grabs everybody by their legs. Or does he? I think he literally grabs the nurse by their legs, by her legs, and then Tammy just breaks free. Yeah,
he grabs the nurse, pulls in the nurse, and Dr. Wackenstein goes to see what happens, and then Tammy pushes him in. Yeah, that's
it's because it's shitty 90s TV quality, so it's a little hard to follow. Yeah, okay, all right. So yeah, the bad guys get pulled into the grave. I think somebody goes to kill them, and Tammy goes, no, we need them for a body. And this scene is when Tammy's character goes full traumatized. Seeing Michael's dead body fucked up her brain. Because then she goes, no, we need them. We need to find a body. And she turns to Michael and goes, it's okay, baby. It's all right. We're going to get you a body. Yeah, that's a good boy, Michael. It's a good... I was like, what the hell just happened? She, like that. Wow, snap. Her brain just took a left tour into crazy town. So they go, we're going to get you a new body. We're going to get you a new body. They, we don't see it, but we cut to, they have the bad guys tied up in the truck, and they go, all right, we'll be right back. Wait here. And they go into a morgue to look for a body. Of course, the same thing. Where's Michael? Oh, he's in the back in the truck. Oh, where is he? Oh, he's one dino head taller than the walls of the landscaping truck that he's in. Yeah. So they go inside. They search and debate about bodies. Well, this one, maybe that one, maybe this one. They go, oh, Michael should choose. So then they drag corpses around to the window and go, what do you think of this one, Michael? And Michael waves his hands and goes, no, I don't want that one. That one's okay. No, not that one. And then eventually the police show up before they can pick a body. So they just go, oh no, we gotta go, and they just hop in the truck and drive away. I was like, what a weird scene.
Which not even that, they show that at this point too, the doctor and his assistant managed to get out of the car, and they're no longer tied up, or at least they're undoing their.
They're tied up. They're no longer gagged.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
They hop towards the police, and the police go, "What's that?" They go, "Oh, they stole my dinosaur," and the police just leave them. They just drive away and they leave them bound.
Oh, that's right, because then they made that whole like sexual moment, like, "Oh, I need you to undo these," and she goes,
"What's her name? Helga." I don't know, but she goes, blah, whatever her name is, chew my rope.
Yeah, that's
and she goes, oh, doctor. And she goes, like, she lowers down. And the doctor's like, oh, yeah. Oh. His wrists weren't tied to his waist.
Exactly.
He had elbow movement. Like, it didn't... Chew my penis, yeah.
Seriously.
Like, that's not... It wasn't even an innuendo. She literally chewed on his penis, as far as I'm concerned. It's just a weird thing they're into. Penis chewing.
That's why he needs a robotic penis later.
Look, I think we've all heard the old phrase, oh, would you sit and gum? Oh, look, it's my ball sack. Yeah. Chew my... Yeah, it's the same thing. It's all an innuendo. It all works, trust me. They drive away. They're driving away. They drive through, like, an orchard, and this way, that way. Eventually, they crash the car, or the truck, rather. And I love it, because they crash the truck, and then they get out of the truck, and they go, oh no, where's Michael? Oh, he must have fell out of the back. And they run, like, into the distance. They go, oh, there's Michael, standing, fully erect, just with a couple, like, branches over his face.
Yeah.
And, like, his butt, because they couldn't simulate... Like, oh, look, I'm broken, I'm upside down. They couldn't simulate a knocked-over T-Rex. So they had to just put him on his feet and go, I'm covered in debris. I've got hay on my head. Wow, I must have fell out of a truck. The old classic fell out of a truck routine. Just put some hay on your head. So Byron's like, I'll distract them, go. And Tammy and the T-Rex, they run away. And Byron's like, no, you can't do this. They're my friends. Blah, blah, blah. And they just arrest. They go, well, just take them in. Just arrest him. They arrest him, which at this point I'm like, I know there's probable cause, but I don't think you could just go, go ahead, arrest him, whatever. I think you still need to tell him why he's being arrested.
Right.
The police, unfortunately, they are too late. And they see Tammy riding Dino Mike on the other side of a lake. And they go, oh, what are we going to do? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Cut to later. Literally could be hours later, or it could be months later. Mm-hmm. I have no clue, because Byron shows up to the secret Dino warehouse from earlier.
Right.
And... the police are stalking him, so they're like, oh, this is where they are. Let's call for backup.
Well, see, this is what I don't understand, how he does not notice that the police are literally following him when they literally show in the same scene him riding the bike, and you could see the cop car clearly behind him following him.
I am not an expert on what cars going through an open field sound like, or if they're louder or, more quiet than a bike going through an open field. But there should have been a number of factors that should have led to him going, oh, I'm definitely being followed by someone.
Exactly.
How about common sense? How about, why wouldn't he think that after being arrested twice by his father would just go, yeah, go ahead, see ya. He wouldn't have him, oh, you mean we're trying to find your best friend that you've been helping? Nah, you can go free. Go ahead, see ya. Whose fault is that? Is it Byron, or is it the dad for not teaching Byron?
A little bit of both.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. So at the abandoned barn, they call for backup, while Tammy and Byron and, well, not Michael, but the three of them, essentially, they talk about their situation, which this is what confuses me, because Byron says, you can't just escape with a dinosaur and go, whatever. It's like, you can't just get away from it with a dinosaur. The whole world is looking for you. Which I wasn't sure if that was an exaggeration,
right,
or if literally there was a worldwide investigation for a dinosaur.
I think it was just an exaggeration on the whole thing, Because as far as I'm concerned, the only people that exist anymore are like the 10 people that they've showed, the 3 cops, Byron, Denise Richards, her parents.
I wouldn't be surprised if Michael had killed everybody by now.
Exactly.
A town of population of 10. So what are we going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, we need a scientist. How are we going to get a scientist? And suddenly the police show up and surround them. And they're like, oh no, what are we going to do? I wrote this line down because I love it. Which she's like, oh, I need to go talk to my dad. She's like, will you listen? Will he listen to you? And he's like, he hasn't yet, but it's like, yeah, it's worth a shot. Why wouldn't he?
And then what I love about this scene too is that they show it like a whole bunch of cop cars show up, but again, it's just the 3 cops.
Yeah. They show woo, like all the cops show up. There's like the dad has a car, the 2 like lieutenants or whatever, they have a car. There's like 3 or 4 more cars that show up behind them. They all run out with shotguns and all. I'm like, oh my god! And then they actually walk out of the barn. And they're like, no, Dad! And it's just the dad and the 2 other cops. Exactly. And it's like, where all the cops go?
And then, of course, they try to make, a quirky, somewhat racist joke. We need something white. We need something white to make a flag, besides you.
Oh, yeah, that was... I didn't not like that joke, but I didn't think it was good. Like, I was like, all right, I'll let it go, but work a little harder next time, guys.
Or how about they're waving something white. That ain't something white. That's a brassiere.
That wasn't, you're just stating facts. It's not, what are you, whatever. So, yes, like we said, we gotta find something. So they go outside to negotiate, but they're like, we're here to negotiate. And the chief goes, what? Nah, forget, you're all under arrest. Everyone's arrested. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not how police works. Like, I don't think you can just walk into a building and go, everybody's arrested. See ya. Like, there's more to it than that. There has to be. I'll start crying if there's not. So, the doctor, Dr. Wackenstein, suddenly shows up and he goes, that's my robot, I own it. Just let me go in there and shoot it with my tranquilizer and we'll be done. And then Byron's like, if it's a robot, how will a tranquilizer work on it?
Okay, yeah, I thought the same thing too. I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, I know. But luckily, science is magic. So Dr. Wackenstein goes, oh, it's a revolutionary new thing. I really shouldn't tell you, but considering it's a series of pulleys and he says a bunch of weird stuff. He's like, it's a malfunction based mainframe that couples with the periodical fusion based, and we think it may put America back on top. And the guy's like, oh. Okay, I'll give you 10 minutes. And they're like, what? You just believe that? Like, that's... Really? I think even the doctor was like, what? Really? Okay.
Hey, listen. It worked in an election in 2016, claiming to make America great again. You just claim that America will be back on top.
That's what
You're golden.
Do. That's for real. Like, I'm going to start doing that. Like, I'm just going to rob shit from Walmart, and when people go, why'd you rob shit? I go, well, I really shouldn't tell you, but it's a plan to put America back on top. They'll just let me go.
Exactly.
They'll just fucking let me go. They'll fire that guy for holding me back. How dare you, you traitor, you terrorist, trying to hinder America. This man has a plan to make America great again, and you're trying to stop him. Ugh. I shouldn't have said that. That may be an actual debate that, like, Trump supporters now use. Like,
it probably is.
How dare you? He's trying to make it. I don't like being topical, though. I don't like that. Although, I'll probably edit this out. Did you see that thing that's going around today? The Trump campaign sent out or whatever? Like, the headquarters? They're like, oh, we're sending out a poll to help America. So what do you feel? Do you support Trump, or are you for Democrats and their fake news? And I was like, this is a real poll? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, seriously. What is going on?
It's just, every time I see something, I just go, okay, I definitely don't know what the definition of propaganda is, because that would be it. If it was my definition, we'd already be way into propaganda territory.
Oh yeah, we're like deep in propaganda, but yeah, I think it's been so long since someone's used propaganda tactics that everyone's just like really blind to it right now.
That must be what it is, because it's really obvious to me. Like, it's really obvious to me. Whatever, anyway. So, yes, the scientifically illiterate police let the doctor do whatever he wants. And he goes inside the barn with his nurse to hunt Dino Mike, who almost immediately rips their guts out. This is another thing that was cut from... There was more blood. The The police then immediately open fire on the beast because he walks out of the bar and they go, "Oh, there he is! Shoot him!" I want to say that they open fire on the beast because if you watch, all the bullets hit around like the barn around the dinosaur.
Well, before you go a little bit too far, what I find funny, it makes me wonder if they only had enough money or film to do one take, is that after the scientist gets eaten, his assistant goes clearly running out of the barn, and you could see her fixing her skirt because clearly it starts to light up as she runs away.
Yeah,
which is just like you couldn't just refilm that so then
I
you
wasn't
wouldn't
sure.
have that
See,
scene.
that's the thing because I watched the part that was edited, and it looked almost like she was trying to pull down her skirt because the dinosaur ripped some of it off.
Oh.
But I didn't see that happen, even though I watched the unedited version. Right. So I don't know if there's a fuller, even more unedited version that includes presumably all the curse words that we think was cut out, or at least I think was cut out, and whatever form of over-the-top sexuality that was,
right.
Which, now that I think about it, couldn't have been the case considering the ending. Where they do that whole striptease thing. Right. So there's no way it was like, oh, that's too sexual. We see a lady's bum, that's too sexual.
Right.
The movie was cut to shit. The movie was cut up so bad, I don't know what is a cut and what is not. So, they open fire on the beast.
Right.
He dies. Oh no, he's dead. Which further makes me believe they couldn't show the dinosaur laying down because you only see his head when he's laying down.
Right, exactly.
You don't see his legs or his tail. So obviously they couldn't do it. Tammy cries, and everyone watches all sad like, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that we made this crazy lady go crazier." Like, everyone's just like, "There's a giant dinosaur, murder it!" And they murder it, and then it dies, and the lady cries, and they're like, "What have we done?" I'm like, "What? How? Really? You guys murdered someone before you thought of your actions? Like, what do you..." And there's not one guy there going, "No, we did the right thing. I don't know what you guys are waiting for. This girl needs a doctor, and we need to remove this corpse. Like,
right.
Let's go." Like, 5 kids died.
Yeah.
Let's go hunting and fishing. 1 dinosaur dies. Psychopaths, that whole town, man. Also, this is just a little dinosaur puppet thing for me. I don't know if you noticed this. Mm-hmm. They tried to show Michael dying, and his version of dying was open dinosaur eye, half-closed dinosaur eye. Open dinosaur eye, half-closed. Because the animatronics didn't work, so he couldn't fully close his eyes. I was just like, oh, man. Hang on, wait a minute. You mean you want me to make a 3rd dinosaur puppet? No, that's bullshit. You used the 2nd one that I made. I made the main robot, and then I made a foam head to stick on the top of a truck. I'm not making a 3rd one. You put the foam one on top of that bush. What do you just reuse it? All right, so everyone's dead. Oh no, sad times. Cut to Tammy arrives home, and she seems super fine, like the most fine anyone's ever been. And her mom's like, "I'm kind of worried about her. She really shouldn't be this happy considering what's happened to her." And the dad goes, "Actually, I'm more worried about him being up there." And I was like, does she have a dinosaur in her room? Like, what the hell's going on? Cut 2, upstairs. Tammy comes home. "Hi, Michael." Boop, turn on the computer. "Oh, hello. It's me, Michael, the computer." And I was like, what? Yeah. And he speaks through speakers, and he sees through a camera. And I don't know if the monitor is there for her to monitor like his vitals and shit like that, or if that's like a picture of his face. I wasn't sure. I didn't see it.
I don't know. I don't think they even showed.
They show the screen. They show it boot up, but then they cut away.
Right.
So I don't know what it's for. But there's a screen, and it has something to do with something. So yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, welcome home." They're like, "Oh, you want some stimulation?" Yeah. And then she comes out of the room, comes back. She's in skimpy clothing. She takes it off until she just gets down bra and panties. And then she's like, "Oh," and Michael's like, "Oh boy, ah!" And then sparks come out, and that's a computer orgasm.
Exactly. And he's like, "Oh, we really got to find me a body."
Yeah, this is killing me. And I was like,
Exactly. She's like, "Oh, okay." Odd. And not even that, like, beforehand, like, what is that she pours on him? Like, whiskey? I assume,
yeah, I think it was supposed to be a drink. Yeah, whiskey. Or some sort of alcohol.
Which, like, wouldn't that destroy the brain just...
Shit.
That's hooked onto electronics? Let me just pour liquid on top of
fucking
it.
die.
Yeah.
Instantly. Instantly his brain would shut down.
Exactly.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, she performs a striptease until a robot has an orgasm. The end.
Such an odd ending.
Dude, it was of all the ways this movie could have ended, that was not one of them.
No, exactly. Exactly. I did not imagine at the beginning of this movie it would end with Michael being a video camera.
Yeah.
And watching her do a striptease while she's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
No, it was just insane. The whole thing was insane to me. Okay, so let's have some fun. Could you make a sequel? Hey! Could you make a sequel?
Yes, mine would actually be that would kind of be a continuation on her mentioning how they found the skiers' bodies and that they might possibly have a new body for him.
Oh, right, yeah, at the end they mentioned that, yes.
So, they end up transferring his body to one of the skiers, only to realize, being that the skier had already died, the body slowly starting to decay and all that, and even though you put his brain in there, it doesn't stop the body from decaying.
Yeah.
So it becomes a whole movie about how they're constantly switching his brain from body to body without solely realizing that every time his body jumps into a new his brain jumps into a new body, he's slowly losing a part of who he is until at the end he's basically just
what a sad end. You don't even have to finish it. That's just sad. He loses himself, really?
Yep.
And then at the end, he sees a picture of his childhood and goes, "I remember!" Right? That's how it ends. Trust me, you'll make more money that way. That's a really fucking sad end, dude. Jesus Christ. Originally, my first sequel would be you would just make a movie out of whatever the next episode of The Twilight Zone was that they clearly stole this from. Because it had the bad ending, the science didn't make sense, none of the characters were... wow, that's clearly Twilight Zone. But no, an actual would be, with the development of the internet, Tammy worries that Michael is possibly cheating on her with porn or mail-order drugs, or, he doesn't need her to get his stuff now. So she gets the help of now internet activist / hacker Byron. You know what I mean?
Right.
Black gay man, he's going to be an activist. Activists got to be socially active. They got to go to the internet. They got to be a hacker. Trust me, it all works. And, I don't know, they help each other to figure out what Michael's doing, and I don't know, Michael has a virus. Turns out Michael downloaded the virus accidentally, and he's not himself. Boom. Nailed it. Done. $1 million, please. All right. I don't know where the logic is in that I got tired of having to come up with questions to ask every time for the Q&A or for Naked Math class.
Right.
So instead, I've devised a new series of questions to ask in a new game that we called Homo Town. Because everything sounds and looks the same in Hollywood, right? Sorry, Homo Town. That's how you pronounce it. Like homonym. Sorry, that was my fault. All right, so this is based off of a failed idea, an idea that has already failed twice on this show. So we're going to take some keywords, and we're going to see if you can try to figure out what movie's being used, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take plot keywords from this movie, the movie we just watched,
right,
and add them together and try to see if you can figure out what another film it is that they're talking about. Like, if you understand what I'm saying?
Not really.
So, well, we'll do the first one, because I think that was a pretty easy one, so hopefully you'll be able to understand it. So, this movie contains brain transplants, right? Well, I know it's transplant and mad doctor, but that the category was right. So, brain transplants, mad doctors, and the character's name in the title. So, what is another film that has all those things in it? There may be more than one, so don't feel like you have to figure out the one. I know there's a whole swath of film, so I wasn't sure how easy this would be or how hard this would be.
I'm drawing a blank for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I can give you, because for this one there was 2 answers. One I'd never heard of, which was a 1986 TV film called Who is Julia?
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Right.
And then the other one, which will click instantly, is Frankenstein.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying now?
Now I get it.
Once I get it, you're like, oh, of course. Okay, so number 2 is, what movie also contained a robot dinosaur and a kidnapping?
Robot dinosaur and a kidnapping. Would it technically Jurassic Park 3, but...
Was there a kidnapping in that?
Well, I guess not.
There were robot dinosaurs in there? You're bad at this game, huh?
Apparently.
Maybe it's just not a good game. All right, so I had... Well, the answer is, sorry.
Right.
The answer is the 2014 Transformers Age of Extinction.
Okay.
A film that we've done
Right.
on this show.
Which is funny, because I have seen that movie, too.
You should have just said, robot dinosaurs, Transformers. I don't know. All right, so this one is, what film or films had a gay friend, a hospital, and a face slap? These are a little more obscure, so there's more options.
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice.
See, they didn't list that, so maybe it does. I don't know. There's a hospital scene in that.
Yep.
There's a gay friend in that.
Yep.
And somebody gets slapped in the face.
Yep.
There you go. You win, son. That's what it is. What IMDb gave me, which it proves to me how terrible IMDb's search system is it could have been the 2012 Perks of Being a Wallflower, that's the Emma Watson film.
Right.
Teenagers coming of age. The 2011 film No Strings Attached, which is Ashton Kutcher and Natalie Portman are friends with, No Strings Attached. Or Angels in America, a TV movie about the American AIDS crisis.
Okay.
There you go.
Interesting.
Yeah. Angels in America, Tammy and the T-Rex, same film. That's what I'm trying to say. Tammy and the T-Rex, Frankenstein, same film.
Yeah.
Transformers Age of Extinction, Tammy and the T-Rex. Same film. That's what I'm telling you, folks. That's what this is all about. So, hey, this is a perfect chance. If you thought of your own movies that might fall into that category, what's another robot dinosaur movie with a kidnapping? What's another film that has a gay friend, a hospital, a face slap? Let us know on Facebook. Let us know on Twitter. Let us know. So, finally, why would you make this? I don't know. The 80s were weird, I'm going to guess.
Yeah.
That's probably the
especially towards the end. Because you got to remember, in the 80s, everybody's hopped up on cocaine. So everybody's probably running on their first idea.
And then in the late 80s, everyone that was hopped up on cocaine died or became a Christian trying to get off the cocaine. So life got really weird. Oh, and kind of turned into the Seaver family for a while. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, we already covered this. That's right. No. So, like I said, the 80s were just kind of a weird time. Director Stuart Raffill, who also wrote this movie, had both written and directed things like High Risk. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. The Ice Pirates. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. You have heard of Mac and Me, which he wrote and directed. And then, I'm not sure if I have that right. I'm not sure if he directed, but he wrote, at the least, Passenger 57, the Wesley Snipes film.
Right.
And that was all before this movie. And then he also did, I didn't write down the year, but like the 95 or something like that, the new Swiss Family Robinson.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
With like, I don't remember who. They were famous people that were the people. It was like Jane Fonda and like Emilio Estevez. It wasn't Emilio Estevez.
It should have been.
It probably should have been. But yeah, so he was just doing stuff like that, and then he did this, and then, I don't know, didn't really go so well for a while, and now he's kind of back to doing, like, Island Paradise being interrupted by danger. Like, that's what he's been doing, just like, oh, there's a killer on the island. Oh, no, we have family problems on the island. Oh, there's a hurricane on the island. Like, literally, all of his films take place on a desert island. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, like, that's a little niche right there.
Yeah. And then the co-writer, which is Gary Brockett, he was an actor from the 70s to 1990, and he appeared in a lot of Raffi's movies like Mac and Me, Ice Pirates. And then in 2001, he started to direct, assistant directing for no-name horror films, and he eventually died January 1st, 2010, after assistant directing a Playboy shoot, followed by The Legend of Awesomest Maximus, which is the failed Will Sasso Gladiator movie.
Oh.
I don't even know if it was direct to DVD. I think it might have been direct to Comedy Central. I have never seen it. I've only seen that it exists on Comedy Central.
Really?
And I always just went, nope, no thanks. It doesn't.
I've never even seen it on Comedy Central as like the 5 movies it owns.
It was recent. It's 2011, so it's within the last 5 years,
It's crazy.
But yeah, no, it was not. Wasn't good.
I can imagine.
Yeah. I don't know why this film was made. Honestly, I don't know, because the guy wrote and directed Mac and Me and Passenger 57 before this, and then did this. You'd have to talk to the guy. He must have just wanted to do another wacky adventure film with things that he didn't have a budget for, I'm going to presume.
Exactly, which is so odd, because both Mac and Me and I've never seen it, but to what I've heard, was a good movie, and people hold it by hard regard.
Mac and Me?
Yeah.
No, really? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Mac and Me is an hour and a half long ad. It's literally, the kid is you know how in E.T. he's like, oh, Reese's Pieces.
Right.
In Mac and Me, they're like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Mattel Toys. It is 100%. We're going to sell shit to kids.
How do they make that movie then?
That's why I don't understand. People are like, no, it's a good film. Go on IMDb. It's got a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, to what I've heard, it was a good movie, but I've never seen it. And then the same thing with Passenger 57. I've seen parts of it, and it was an okay movie to what I remember, but then to go on to do this...
57, that's the plane one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, yeah, I've seen the train one. That's it. Was that Money Train? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Did he have another train one? I feel like we've had this conversation before. Is there a subway killer that sets people on fire? It's a different movie, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a Bone Collector.
See, I knew it. He's in that movie too?
No.
So I'm racist, is what
yes,
you're saying. Oh, good.
Because that's Denzel Washington.
No. For real? No.
Yeah, it was Denzel Washington and Angelina Jolie. That was the movie that really put her on the map.
Is it? What's the one where he's in a hospital bed the whole time?
That's the Bone Collector.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was Angelina Jolie?
Yeah, because because Denzel used to be a police officer, but then he got paralyzed.
Oh, then it's not the Bone Collector, because I remember a scene where there's some sort of subway arsonist, and he puts it, and then I remember the black guy saves. What? Whatever. It's not important. Go watch both of those movies and tell me how wrong I am about them. Turns out, Wesley Snipes isn't even an actor. He's just a tax evader. Okay, so next month is April, which means it's action month. So please join us along with comedian John Pignette, human being Dane Cook, and extraterrestrial superstar Dennis Rodman for the 1998 action comedy Simon Says.
I didn't even know Dane Cook was around in 98.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dane Cook has been around for decades.
Sure.
Yeah. It's pretty bad, yeah.
All I remember is that, weird 2 to 3 years that he became famous.
2001, 2002,
Yeah.
2003, yeah.
And then, after that, disappeared forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. People act like tragedy is great for comedy, but it's not, because tragedy begets fear and confusion, and people take any form of enjoyment they can find. So, which is why when 9/11 happened, you've got people like Dane Cook being good. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing, now you got people like Trump. Trump's in the office right now, and people aren't too happy with that. And you go, oh, Saturday Night Live is the best it's ever been. And you watch and you go, it's the same as it's been for the last 4 years. What are you talking about?
Thank you. Exactly. That's
probably 7 years. Nothing has changed except for how willing we are to accept anything that isn't the garbage we're used to.
Right, exactly. And then you're completely correct, because right now everybody's like, oh, they're making fun of Trump, they're making fun of Trump's speaker. It's like, nope, they've been doing that for about every president ever, making fun of whatever he's done or said.
I've watched almost, there's like the last 2 or 3 I've missed. Every time I've watched Melissa McCarthy do the Spicer thing, I walk away going, you didn't turn it up enough. Like, you could have went super wacky with it, and you kind of went a little wacky with it.
Right.
Because, like, you know, when I don't know if you've seen all the bits. Have you seen them?
I've seen some of them.
You know, when she's like, oh, look at the dolls and all that. That's not wacky, because Sean Spicer really has done some of that stuff.
Right.
So, like, it's literally just, did you see that? Well, now I'm going to do it with a funny voice.
Right.
And that's, to me, you're not adding anything to the situation. You're not.
Right,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
You're not. You're just replaying the whole, the whole conference, but you're just throwing in like a joke here and there to kind of like keep everyone's attention.
Yeah, and people who do that shouldn't be allowed to do comedy. Now, on to something completely unrelated. This podcast about a movie that we're commenting on. So, Simon Says, next month. Probably more like a week and a half, but I ain't gonna know. That's the way it is. Delta's not here, so go to victorprowrestling.com for that information. Please go to www.ymt.com for all things Why Would You Make This, where you can absolutely, for free, listen to and download episodes. That's, of course, if you don't like using either iTunes or Google Play, both of which we are available on. You can also find a link to our YouTube on our website, where we have clips from the show, little audio clips, just the jokes. We've also got some comedy videos that are unrelated to the podcast, like puppet shows and political jokes and stuff like that. Just a reminder that if we asked you to answer any questions or to talk to us in any way, that you can do so by searching Why Would You Make This on Facebook or Tumblr or, the internet. Like, just search the internet. That's how most people get by. If for whatever reason you feel the need to talk to me personally, or if you want to suggest something for the show, like, McCord quotes or some quiz questions or answers or whatever. If you want to talk to us personally, you can talk to me at Time Commander on Twitter. Danny Money is
at WWYMT.
Yeah. I think you need your own. Like the one you use, actually. Right. You should probably use that. Our intro music is an edited version of Falling If You Love by Kill Paris. Taking us out today. I had something, and I never wrote it down, I think. Oh, I wanted it to be a Guns N' Roses song, and I never looked it up. That's right. All right, so we're going to sing what we think the opening song was. I think it was titled Dinosaur. And it was done by a band whose name I can't remember either. Oh, well. So enjoy that. And join us next month for Simon Says. So for Danny Money and the absent J Delta, I am Jimmy Time. And please remember that without the mistakes of others, we'd be forced to endure the pain of failure ourselves. Support the arts. I just want to see my girlfriend as she's doing cheerleader stuff.
I just want to see my girlfriend doing cheerleader stuff.
I don't want to have to get into a fight, but if I do, it's gonna be right. Come on, improv, Danny. Let's go.
Get into fights, grabbing our penises. This is how you fight in the 90s.
90s fighting, man, is great. Who's that guy over there? Oh, wait!
Oh.
He's stealing my brain, putting it in a dinosaur. Can't believe it. I've gone so dinosaur. Oh, I'm a dinosaur.
Dinosaur on the loose. Dinosaur killing the moose.
Dinosaur eating folks. Dinosaur got no jokes.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, dinosaur. All right.
Terrible. Awful.
The preceding recording is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed in this podcast do not necessarily represent the views of Why Would You Make This, its owners, employees, or associates.